And at number 15, we have Yasob of the Red Hair Pirates. To me, Lucky Roux and Yasob go hand in hand. It's never been confirmed who is the second Yonko commander of the crew. We know Beckman is the vice captain, and we can safely assume he's the strongest aside from Shanks. But between these two, I've always sensed that Yasob's portrayal has been ever so slightly stronger than Lucky Roux's. Some people think Lucky Roux's stronger. Regardless, they go hand in hand. These two are interchangeable for me. Yasob, most definitely, most likely the strongest sniper in the world currently. I believe he's better than Van Ogre. He's better than Usopp. He is the father of Usopp, a Straw Hat. So you know Oda is saving this guy to the very end, just like Shanks. And the portrayal of the Red Hair Pirates is just so great. You can't help but to respect him for it. And with him representing the top tier sniper in the series, the strongest of a specific category, I gotta give this man his respect. I gotta give it to Yasob and put him at number 15 on this list. And at number 14, we have Admiral Fujitora. One of the best Devil Fruits in the series with his gravity fruits. We saw what he could do in Dressrosa. He was able to deal with Doflamingo, Law, Sabo comfortably. And yes, I believe he was holding back, definitely. Holding back more so than the likes of Doflamingo and Sabo and everyone else. And if he really wanted to do damage in Dressrosa, I don't think anybody on that island could stop him. Not Sabo, not Doflamingo, no one. He's up there, and he tends to have a more calm and chill personality than the other admirals. But make no mistake about it, I believe that if he gets to that level where he's pissed off just like the rest of them and he shows his wrath, if Fujitora wants to show us his wrath, he's right up there with the likes of the OG3 in my opinion. So I gotta give Fujitora his respect and put him at number 14. Number 13, we have the Flame Emperor Sabo. Now, if this was anytime prior to 1054, so just a few months ago, I would have had Sabo much, much lower on this list. But you cannot ignore the insane portrayal that he has been given ever since chapter 1054, Flame Emperor. They're going out of their way to put this man's portrayal above the likes of Dragon, or to try and suggest it. That's how strong they want Sabo to be right now. And I think this is because Oda is planning for Sabo to fight Akainu down the line in the future. I could be wrong, I could be right, but regardless, the portrayal remains for me. Sabo's portrayal is that of nothing short of Admiral level at this point, and it is only going higher. All the Revolutionary Army look up to this man. Next in line, right after Dragon himself, who could possibly be the strongest in the series. And we've seen what the story is doing with Sabo so far, with him discovering about Imu and supposedly dying for the 500th time. With the story giving him this much importance, so is his portrayal, and by extension, so is his strength. And Sabo is only going to get stronger. If I were to assume, if I were to make a prediction, by next year he's probably going to be way higher even on this list. So gotta give my man Sabo some respect and put him where he rightfully deserves to be. And at number 12, forgive me guys, but I'm gonna have to cheat on this one. Straight up gonna cheat here, because I'm gonna have 3 guys right here at number 12, and it's gonna be the Old Man Trio. And for these guys, I was thinking about ranking them individually, and I could rank them individually, but what's the point? I think all 3 of them are retired. All 3 of them are getting old. All 3 of them are still very, very strong because they were pure monsters back in their day. I think all 3 of them are top 10 strongest characters of all time in their prime. But they have fallen off, not too much in my opinion. And since they're not going to play that much of a role in the future of the story, why rank them individually? I thought I would save some slots for more interesting characters to talk about and just put all these 3 at number 12. So I believe they're stronger than Fujitora, Sabo, and the likes of that, but weaker than some of the other characters I'm going to mention. Pretty much just as simple as that. And at number 11, we have Kuzan, or Aokiji, former admiral, current Blackbeard pirate. He is making his moves, and I'm very interested to see what Kuzan has in store for the future. If he fights, I'm interested to see who he fights and what happens. But so far, we know this guy was a former admiral. We saw what he could do from his very first appearance in his introduction, how easily he could have killed all the Straw Hats if he wanted. He was recommended to be Fleet Admiral, both for his strength and for his character, by Sengoku and some other members of the Marines. And he fought current Fleet Admiral, Akainu, 10 days in a fight that went all out just to figure out who's going to be the Fleet Admiral. So him and Akainu are this relative in strength. Now, given he has lost a leg since then, but with his devil fruit, he was able to attach a prosthetic leg. His devil fruit is one of the strongest devil fruits in the entire series. And we see the respect this man gets just showing up behind a guy like Doflamingo with the hype that Doflamingo had at the time. The insane hype that he had. Even he didn't want no smoke from Kuzan. He didn't want any of that smoke from Kuzan. Kuzan is really up there, and you can make an argument definitely that he is a top 6-7 character. But for me, once again, it's the top 10 are the top 10. They're the strongest characters in the series, and he just didn't make that for me, in my opinion. And now to get into the top 10 strongest characters of One Piece, in my opinion, we're going to start off with number 10, Kizaru, aka Borsalino. Now, let me tell you guys why I have him above Aokiji. I have him above Aokiji because of portrayal, straight up. And the order of the Admiral's appearance was Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu, and with each one, the threat grew greater. In Marineford, the order that they participated in the war was Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu. When they fought simultaneously in the war, Akainu fought the captain of the Whitebeard pirates, Whitebeard. Kizaru fought the first commander, Marco, and Kizaru fought the second strongest commander, Jozu. The portrayal has always been there, in my opinion. Now, you can make the case that Aokiji fought Akainu for 10 days, but who's to say Kizaru would have even lost if he participated in that fight? Forget about 10 days. Maybe he would have beaten Akainu. We don't know that. I think all three admirals, OG admirals, were extremely relative in strength anyways, so 10 days of fighting doesn't necessarily prove to be more impressive than what Kizaru could have done. It just shows that's what would have happened if Kizaru was there as well. And I believe he has the best devil fruit of any admiral or of any marine easily. So for me, I have him ever so slightly above Kuzan, but both these characters are very close. And at number 9, we have the vice captain of the Red Hair Pirates, the right-hand man of Shanks himself, Beckman. I have bought into the Beckman stocks for years. I have always been a Beckman over Admirals kind of guy. The portrayal has always been there. But now, more recently, with the hype from Film Red, with the reveal of just some of his powers, we know that his haki is said to be as great as Admirals. Beckman stocks are through the roof. They are absolutely through the roof. And I think him being the moon to Shanks' son, him being the vice captain of Shanks, not the first Yonko commander, but the vice captain, gives this man portrayal at least to that of your average admiral, and in my opinion, greater than that of your average admiral. So Beckman for me is number 9, and I cannot wait until we see the Red Hair Pirates fight all out, and Beckman shows us just how strong this man is, and maybe then people will put some respect on this man's name. Number 9, Benny himself. And at number 8, we have Blackbeard, current Yonko, currently in a fight with Law. He's getting his ass kicked, but this is typical of Blackbeard. With his devil fruit, he takes more damage than most. Again, I do believe he is going to turn things around and he's going to deal with Law rather quickly very soon. But let's just go over Blackbeard real quick. He has 2 of the best devil fruits in the series. Yami Yami no Mi, Gura Gura no Mi. Obtained the Gura Gura in Marineford. Killed Whitebeard. Obtained it. Claimed to be the strongest. Now, even though he backed down from Shanks, we know his confidence ever since then has gone through the roof. And he has only had 2 years to train with these 2 fruits now to get significantly stronger. He has gained the status of Yonko. His bounty has gone up recently to 3.9, practically 4 billion berry bounty now, where it's practically equal to Shanks's. Who knows what he has done to get this bounty? Blackbeard is making moves as much as Luffy is in the series, and as Luffy comes up, so does Blackbeard. And although I don't have him as strong as some of the others right now, I do believe his time is going to come. And when if and when he eats that 3rd devil fruit, he is arguably going to be number 1 on this list. But I believe time is on Blackbeard's side, so he's got nothing to worry about. With each year, this guy is only going to get higher and higher on this list. At number 7, we have Big Mom, Charlotte Linlin. I was thinking about whether or not to put her and Kaido on this list, but I thought they're still alive, and I do strongly believe Big Mom will play a role again in the future, so I'm going to put her on this list. Now, with her losing, I did not drop her down at all in this list. This is where I would have had her anyways. This is where I always had her. As a matter of fact, before she lost, I had her even below Blackbeard. But I believe Big Mom is strong, but she has her fair share of weaknesses. If it comes to physical strength, I believe she has everybody in the series beat. maybe of all time. Even the likes of Whitebeard, Roger, physical strength, she has everyone beat. We saw when she was a kid, she was able to deal with giants easily deal with giants. So she is a freak of nature. She is the definition of a freak of nature in this series. She has a fantastic devil fruit. She has advanced haki, advanced conqueror's haki. Phenomenal durability, phenomenal endurance, as we saw in her fight with Law and Kid. But just due to her incompetence and her unintelligence and her flaws in her fights, as we've seen, I can't put her above some of the other people I have on this list. I do believe that naturally she is stronger than most of these people, if not all of them, but in a fight they can probably beat her and beat most other people. If we were to go on paper, Big Mom could perhaps be number 1 on this list, perhaps, but I can't ignore her flaws. Her flaws keep her back from being in the top 5 in my opinion. So Big Mom is sitting at number 7 for me right now. At number 6, we have the current fleet Admiral Sakazuki, aka Akainu. Don't sleep on this guy. This guy is the strongest representative of the Marines easily right now. We saw what he is capable of at Marineford, where he fought toe-to-toe with Whitebeard, damaged Whitebeard significantly, put multiple holes in this guy's chest. He fought all of the commanders at once. His devil fruit is said to be one of the most offensive devil fruits in this series, which goes perfectly with his lethal, ruthless, remorseless personality. I don't think anybody in the series is more lethal than this guy, and he poses a greater threat directly to your life as a villain than the likes of a Kaido or a Blackbeard or anyone else. I believe this is the killer of the series, and Ace can vouch on that. And as the series goes on and this man sits at the top of the Marines, his portrayal only gets greater, and I can't wait to see him in action with his amazing devil fruit. So for me, once again, number 6, Akainu Sakazuki. At number 5, we have Kaido, King of the Beast, world's strongest creature, former Yonko. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys, perfectly honest. In the peak of his Wano hype, I had him at number 2 strongest character in the world. And when he fell, when he lost to Luffy, I did drop him 2 or 3 notches and I put him at number 5. And the reason I did this, although I do believe he's just as strong as he was then, the fact that he has already fought, gone all out, and fell, and some of these characters that I'm about to mention have not even shown us half of their strength yet in this series, I can't help but to think that they're going to be stronger. Again, I'm a portrayal over feats kind of guy. I get the hype behind Kaido, but I believe Oda is always going to hype up the current antagonist of the current arc that we're in to be that strong from now on. When it's Blackbeard's turn, he's going to seem to be the strongest. When it's Akainu's turn, he's going to seem to be the strongest. Mihawk, same thing. That's just the way I see it. And he was never confirmed factually to be the world's strongest creature. It is a rumor. It is a rumor in the One Piece world. It is not a fact. And although I do believe Kaido is extremely strong and can hang with anybody and can perhaps beat any given character on any given night in One Piece, including Roger and Whitebeard, he could beat them just as much as he could lose sometimes. He is still number 5 for me, but everyone from 5 down to 3 for me are relatively close anyways. So number 3, number 4, number 5 are extremely close and practically interchangeable. So if you have Kaido anywhere in your top 5, really, it's acceptable. He is, at the end of the day, Kaido. And at number 4, I have the GOAT, Monkey D. Luffy, the man who beat Kaido. Now again, these 2 characters are very close. They're very interchangeable. Over the course of the Onigashima raid, we saw Luffy obtain all forms of advanced haki, advanced conqueror's haki. We saw him get his Devil Fruit Awakening. Gear 5 was on a whole other level where he was practically toying with Kaido in the beginning. We saw Kaido was able to adjust and deal with Luffy again, but Luffy at the end of the day beat Kaido one-on-one. And for me, the argument here is Kaido was already tired, but to me, the one attack that Kaido got in on Luffy when Luffy was distracted did far more damage to Luffy than anything that Kaido took from anyone that wasn't Luffy. So to me, Luffy practically beat Kaido fair and square. Stamina, of course, is an issue here as well. And that's why it's a debate, right? Who knows? We would have to see who would have won if it was a 1v1 again. My bet's on Luffy. But again, I have these characters very close, but I have Luffy ever so slightly sitting at number 4. And at number 3, I have the world's strongest swordsman, Dracula Mihawk. Now, with Mihawk and Luffy, these 2 keep changing for me. But with Mihawk's insane portrayal, in my opinion, the 3rd best portrayal in the story, only behind the next 2 guys that are going to come next, he is the world's strongest swordsman. He is the only living character and one of only 2 characters mentioned in the entire series to have obtained and forged the Blackbeard. He has factually the strongest sword in the entire series. Not only is it a Blackbeard, but it is also a supreme grade sword, and it is said to be the best among the supreme grade swords. And he is Zoro's ultimate goal in the story. To me, that's enough to put this guy where he deserves to be. Dracula Mihawk. We saw him fight all the way back in Barati A and was saved all the way until the end of the story when he fights Zoro. Best strip in One Piece, one of the best characters, and his hype and his portrayal is at the very, very top tier for me. And when we see this man fight all out with Luffy, I believe it's gonna outdo the likes of Kaido, the likes of Big Mom, the likes of Akainu, and all of those. So Mihawk is sitting at number 3 for me. And at number 2, we have Monkey D. Dragon, the father of Luffy, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, the man who trained Sabo, and in my opinion, the second best portrayal in the entire story. We don't know his bounty yet, but he is the world's greatest criminal, and we know that he has the highest bounty currently in One Piece. We saw the bounties of the former legends that are no longer around, like Roger and Whitebeard. To me, his bounty is probably going to be even above the likes of them. Just him being the father of the protagonist in the shonen manga alone puts this guy in the top 5. Just like that already puts him in the top 5. And the fact that we haven't seen this guy do anything in the story at all besides stop Smoker from attacking Luffy, that's the closest thing we've seen to this man in action over 1,000 chapters in. I think you would be crazy to not put your money in the Dragon stocks. You gotta invest in Dragon. You absolutely gotta invest in Monkey D. Dragon. And at number 1, if you guys know me, you guys knew this was coming. I believe the strongest character in One Piece, bar none, by a decent margin, not significant, but a decent enough margin, the strongest character is Red Hair Shanks. This man was introduced in chapter 1. This man was the second character introduced in the entire story. He introduced Haki to us. He introduced splitting the sky to us. Not only did he introduce, but he was the only character to damage physical objects with his Conqueror's Haki without touching anything, like we saw when he was on Whitebeard's ship. Most recently, when he visited Wano, the insane Haki feats that he showed us, intimidating Greenbull from thousands of miles away with his, what we can only assume is advanced Conqueror's Haki. He was practically talking to Greenbull through his Haki and intimidating him into leaving. We've seen him intimidate the likes of admirals and such at Marineford and make everyone back down from fighting. His portrayal is by far, in my opinion, the best portrayal in One Piece. He was raised by Roger and Rayleigh. By the age of 12, he was able to see Oden, Whitebeard, Roger, all these men fighting all out in action. Now that Luffy has defeated Kaido, Kaido has made it a point to caution Luffy and us readers on the significance of Haki moving forward, and we all know who the Haki man of this series is. And to me, he is going to introduce to us levels of Haki that we couldn't even possibly imagine. New forms of advanced Haki. And with his hype coming off of Film Red this past summer, Shanks stocks, if they weren't already at an all-time high, they've just broken through that roof now they've broken to outer space at this point. And I have always had my stocks in Shanks, and the portrayal for Shanks only gets greater with each chapter that he's not shown for me. He's also the middleman between Roger and Luffy, where Roger gave him the hat and he gave Luffy the hat. What better portrayal can you ask for in a character? So for me, number 1, the strongest character alive, without a doubt, fairly easy to rank him at number 1 for me, is Red Hair Shanks. So that's my top 30 list for 2022 strongest characters, guys. But what I want you guys to do right now is go ahead and comment down below your top 30s. Drop all 30 of them, drop the list down below. I read every single comment, so don't worry, I'll see all of them. Let me know if you guys think I missed any characters for this year's top 30. I don't think I did, but if you think I did, go ahead and let me know. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please do your boy a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Help me reach my goal of 800 subscribers by the end of the year. I don't know if it's possible, but let's see. Let's aim for it and see what we can do. And you guys know the drill. I'll be out later this week with another great video for you guys. More One Piece content, more Bleach content, all of that. So subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later this week with another video. Thank you guys for watching. Nature Boy out.